Here we go again. One of these nights again with Mr. DJ. I just blew the first take, the video I wanted on this song I'm talking about. Outsourcing Billboard's Hot 100 still of October 5th, 1968. And Bang Shang-a-Lang by the Archies. That's one of the fun things about the 60s was the bubblegum explosion, particularly when you get into 1968. 1968, you had the hard psychedelic stuff. You had the Amboy Dukes. You had the Who. You had Revolution by the Beatles. There was Journey to the Center of the Mind by the Amboy Dukes. But then, almost as a counterpoint, as sort of a response to it, you had the bubblegum, the innocuous bubblegum records that emerged, particularly in 68. Yummy Yummy, 123 Red Light, Simon Says, Chewy Chewy, and Bang Shang-a-Lang by the Archies coming in at number 72 on Billboard's Hot 100, week of October 5th, 1968. The song was written and produced by Jeff Berry. Where do I start on Jeff Berry? A book should be written about Jeff Berry and his co-writing and his wife, his writing partner, Ellie Greenwich. We are talking amazing volume of work. Jeff Berry. With Ellie Greenwich, he wrote Da Do Run Run, Danny Kiss Me, Be My Baby, those great girl group records by the Crystals and the Ronettes. He also, with Phil Spector and Ellie Greenwich, wrote River Deep and Mountain High, which was originally covered by Ike and Tina Turner in 1966. The Phil Spector's Wall of Sound wizardry embedded in that record, but it bombed in America. It was a huge hit in Europe. Although River Deep and Mountain High, it was later covered by the Four Tops and the Supremes. Fall of 1970, early 71. They also wrote Chapel of Love, People Say, by the Dixie Cups. And they also co-wrote Iko Iko, Jeff Berry, and Ellie Greenwich, along with Mike Stoller and Jeff Lieber. But it mushrooms from there. It doesn't stop. It just keeps growing. The resume explodes in 1966, 67, 68 for Jeff Berry, like you wouldn't believe. There's no resting on any laurels whatsoever. 1965, 66, Jeff Berry and Ellie Greenwich made an amazing discovery. They discovered Neil Diamond. Jeff Berry produced some of Neil Diamond's early big hits. Cherry Cherry, Girl You'll Be a Woman Soon, Kentucky Woman, produced by Jeff Berry. Jeff Berry and Ellie Greenwich, they introduced Neil Diamond to Burt Burns, massive songwriter in the 60s, the guy who wrote Twist and Shout. But he was also one of the big people at Bang Records. And Burt Burns signed Neil Diamond to Bang Records. Those early hits with Bang Records, Cherry Cherry. Cherry Cherry, it's scintillating because I tell you why. Guess who sang backup on that record? I'm going out on a limb to say this. The backup singers really helped make this song. You got the way to move me, baby. Ellie Greenwich and Jeff Berry sang backup. Cherry Cherry, Neil Diamond. The Monkees TV show, Don Kirshner was the music director. He roped in Jeff Berry. Jeff Berry brought some songs written by Neil Diamond. He wanted the Monkees to cover them. I'm a Believer, A Little Bit Me, A Little Bit You, produced by Jeff Berry. Don Kirshner was let go as music director of the Monkees TV show. But he moved on. Don Kirshner did. He became music director of the Archies cartoon series that started in 1968, 69. Once again, Don Kirshner reached out to Jeff Berry and tapped into his songwriting talent. Along with Andy Kim, Jeff Berry wrote Sugar Sugar, Jingle Jangle, Who's Your Baby? Jeff Berry also wrote Bang Shang-a-Lang by the Archies. It went to number 22 on Billboard's Hot 100. Bang Shang-a-Lang did. Ron Dante singing lead. the Archies record. One of my favorite records by the Archies was the one that came after Bang Shang Lang. Does anybody out there remember Feeling So Good? Scooby-Doo. Didn't make top 40, but that was a fun record. And now here's another thing I want to mention about the bubblegum records. If the Rolling Stones came out, say, a sexually suggestive lyric, or even if Lou Christie came out with a sexually suggestive lyric, they caught flack for it, they caught hell for it. But my God, the Ohio Express, the bubblegum people that come up with sometimes with these double entendres, these suggestive lyrics, but they were so sugar-coated, it went right over your head. It went over everybody's head. Check this lyric out on Bang Shang Lang. I'll give you an example. Something said I shouldn't waste no time. If I'm ever going to make her mine, I walked right up and say, how do you do? Do. She said, I bet I do as good as you. And do you remember that lyric from Jingle Jangle where he's singing, it's Ron Dante, he was singing Jeff Berry lyrics, he's singing, baby, you'll be sleeping while I'll come creeping down your hall. It was something along those lines. And you're thinking, this goes over your head. These songs are so sweet, they're so innocuous. And they sneak these double entendres in. I just had to bring that up. Archie's Bang Shang Lang on Billboard's Hot 100, October the 5th, 1968.